At dinner today, the wife suddenly froze. Not moving an inch, her husband sensed something was wrong. He kept calling her name, but her eyes were empty and unfocused, thinking she was just playing a prank on him. He turned to wet a towel and used it to wipe her neck. It was freezing winter, yet she showed no reaction at all to the cold water. Seeing that, he rushed to change his clothes, planning to take her to the doctor, but as soon as he finished changing, he heard her calling him. He went to the living room to check, and found she'd regained consciousness. He scolded her for playing such a joke, but she insisted she hadn't. It wasn't until she saw the water stain on her clothes that they finally realized she was sick. The doctor told him she'd had a severe stroke, and might end up paralyzed in the later stages. Back home, the wife asked him to make a promise.
Promets-moi une chose.
Quoi?
Je t'en prie, ne me ramène plus jamais à l'hôpital.
He knew this was her last bit of dignity, seeing how firm she was. He had no choice but to agree. After that, he took on the role of a caregiver. He made breakfast for her, and watched her struggle to eat it every day. He helped her do rehabilitation exercises, hoping she'd get better soon, but every time she had to ask him to fetch things for her, she felt terrible inside. Once a piano teacher, she now felt like a burden. The gap between her past and present was too hard for her to accept. One day, when he got home, he found his wife sitting on the floor. He just silently lifted her up and closed the window that he'd already shut earlier. He knew well his wife didn't want to keep being a burden to him.
Pardonne-moi, j'ai été trop lente.
He tried to cheer her up with a clumsy joke, instead of blaming her, but after that day, he never left her alone at home again. He invited her former students to visit, hoping seeing them would spark some will to live in her. He also bought an electric wheelchair for her. She had fun moving around the living room with it, but even that didn't change her mind. Even though he took care of her with great attention, he still couldn't prevent her from getting hurt. Unwilling to trouble him anymore, she tried to reach for a book by herself, only to fall off the bed. She wasn't injured, but her husband still complained a little.
Mais tu peux pas appeler quand tu as besoin de quelque chose?
She felt sorry too. One night, he had a nightmare. In the dream, he was alone in the house, and couldn't find his wife anywhere. Suddenly, a hand appeared from behind and covered his mouth. The scare jolted him awake. As time went by, his wife's condition got worse. Just as the doctor had said, she even started having incontinence. This was undoubtedly a heavy blow to her pride. Her husband tried to comfort her, saying it was no big deal, but his comfort didn't help. Instead, it hurt her pride even more. She controlled the electric wheelchair and headed for the bathroom, wanting to prove she could manage on her own, but the threshold stopped her in her tracks, just like her illness. And no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't get past it. She fell apart, but there was nothing she could do.